Flying high like a bird in the bee.
Spider! Look, spider! Oh. Spider! It's a spider! Live it!
Yeah, don't touch it.
That's a spider.
Hair is so flat. Okay, there we go. Hi everyone, it's me Sai. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I will be showing you my top 5 reads at this moment, and I hope that you enjoy it and it may inspire you to give these a read, because I think these are really great. And I've ranked them down to my first, second, third, fourth and fifth. Obviously fifth being, like, it's not my least favourite. I have my number 1 favourite, which I'm going to save for last. Begin, we will be starting with a favourite of the childhood memory section. Yeah, whatever that means. That is Sailor Moon. I'm not been singing the theme right. I mean, I can't talk today. There's literally only one word. I was looking at myself, sorry. There's literally only one word I will use to describe this whole manga, and that is nostalgia. Simply because when I opened it and I started reading it, it unlocked all these forgotten childhood memories that I had of the anime series. I really think they captured the animation in still form perfectly. It's just as funny as the animation, the anime, sorry. And it's just as animated, it's just as lively, it's full of character, it's literally full of life. Like, it's so bubbly and just out there. There's so much use of like the animated symbols, the expressions, the emotions that are in this manga and stuff. It's just exploding with so much life. And I've never read manga before in my life, ever. And I would admit that it was kind of hard to follow the narrative, just because it was so distracting just how detailed the artwork is, that as soon as I turn a page to read the next part, my eyes will just instantly wander around the whole page, because I'm just like so amazed and in awe of just how much details and everything that's in here. But it's a lovely read, it's entertaining, it keeps you going, and it's also perfect for travel size as well, because it's so small. You just pop it in your bag and then, you know, take it with you in the bus or on your way to work or whatever. So yes, Sailor Moon, great anime, great manga. Next on my list, number 4, is, it's like an indie comic, I would say. It's called Enyas Ghost. It looks like this. I just happened to come across this when I was in Foyles one day a few years back, and I stumbled just across this in the shelf and I picked it up, and I instantly was like, oh, this is something I definitely know I would like to read, because, you know, it really depends on my mood. I like stories which are very quite simple, but enough to sort of, you know, it's enough to keep you going and it's interesting enough, and then ones which are so kind of crazy and far-fetched and out there. It's like with music, I think, as well. It just depends what mood you're in and what you want to read. This one, I would say, it's a very simple story, very easy to follow. The artwork itself is very simple as well, but it's simply detailed. It's not too boring. It does capture you. I do like the whole colour scheme they have going, because it's not really black and white. It's sort of like, I don't know, it's like a grey blue kind of tone, and it's quite different. I think it's because I think it's supposed to go with the whole genre of the actual comic book being like a horror. You won't get too spooked. You kind of be like a bit creeped out, but you laugh as well. So yeah, Enyas Ghost, I'd say definitely another amazing read. Now next on my list is a comic book which is not for the faint-hearted, for people who are easily offended and for people who get easily triggered. I'm just going to say it, I'm going to put it out there, and it's Hellboy Jr. What the... This is so out of the world. This is so far-fetched. This is so crazy. It's a series of short stories in the comic, some which, you know, they include the main character, which is Hellboy Jr, when he's basically a kid, and it's just about him living in hell, and his dad's basically, you know, Satan, whatever, and just his shenanigans and his little adventures, what he gets up to. Then there's also this other really wacky stories, which are just absolutely bonkers. Like, they're mad, but like they're so friggin' funny. Like, they're so stupid. You know that movie Sausage Party? And like, if you guys have seen it, if you remember the weird twist ending, like, it just made you think, what the fuck? Like, literally, this is this comic. It's a what the fuck comic. It literally just... But it's so entertaining. I can read this again and again. And I love how they've got the different artists, because each story's got a very different style of artwork as well. So you got this one, got this sort of art style as well. So there's all different art styles within the comic. So very interesting. If you like dark humour, if you like to laugh and also have your brain sort of get really confused with all these different emotions, I mean, this is the comic for you. This comic will literally make you feel things you never could feel before, and make you laugh at things which some people would probably cry at. Like, seriously, I'm no kidding. Like, this comic is mad, but it's bloody brilliant at the same time. Next on my list is a comic book called I Was the Cat. It's about a cat, but not just any cat. It's a highly intelligent cat, and this cat is telling you just all the lives that he lives. It's like history meets fantasy. And I actually lost my first copy that I bought a few years ago. I just lost it and it just went missing, and then Kevin bought me another one, and then luckily this is a signed copy from the actual author. So maybe this, you know, this copy is a little bit more valuable. It's pretty cool. Artwork in this is just straightforward comic book style. Right, you know, it's detailed enough. Storytelling. The layout is very, very simple. Very, very easy to follow. The narrative and story and stuff like that. It is interesting. It keeps you going, because again, it's not just one story. It's telling of this cat. This cat is telling all the lives that it's lived. It's very quirky. It's a very quirky read, but I'd say it's a good read. It's definitely something everyone should sort of give a go. And especially if you're a cat lover, you can read about a cool cat, you know, who's lived and he's explored and is an adventurer and all the different lives that he's lived. So very, very cool. Tea break. Okay, lastly, being my most favourite graphic novel ever in the whole entire world, and it's been #1 and it's going to stay #1 from the day I bought it up until now. It's called Habibi. And many of you out there, the first thing you probably notice is that it does look like the holy book, the Quran, and that is because it is inspired by Islamic art, by the Quran, by the Islamic sort of stories and the religious tales and stuff like that. But I wouldn't say it's a religious book. It just has the aspects of it and the inspiration. Quite a chunky book, so take your time to read it. Things I would say I love about it most is just the actual story. Both main characters, which are on this cover that you see here, are both equally lovable. It's like a tragic story. It's tragedy, it's love, it's hope. This is a book that makes you laugh, it makes you cry. The artwork within itself is very, very intricate, very, very beautiful. There's stories within stories as well. Kind of like when you have in movies and stuff, when you have flashbacks. But this is like stories within stories. So it always keeps you go in, it hooked me in from the first page. As soon as I opened that first page, and you know, it starts off very brief, very sort of vague, and that's what draws you in. And I just kept going, and I was like, I have to get this, and I got it. And you know, it was a bit of a shock, especially the first few pages, a bit of a shock for me, and maybe a shock for anyone out there that wants to read this book. I would say it is quite a political book as well, just because of the sort of aspects revolving around religion and culture and things that have happened in the world and probably is still happening in parts of the world, and based on some truths and harsh realities. So I mean, it's not as crazy as Hellboy, but I mean, if you know, I am quite an emotional person, but it's not too bad. It's not a book that's gonna get you too riled up, too offended in any way. I've read it so many times, but it's like, no matter how many times I start to read it again, my heart is just never ready for all the emotions I'm about to feel. Even though I know what happens, I'm just still never ready because of just how the story is. It's like a timeless tale. So this is an absolute must read for anyone out there. That is that for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this little talking session about my favourite reads. I hope I've inspired you to go out there and maybe give these books an actual read. And yeah, that concludes for today's video. Thank you for watching. Oh, don't forget to subscribe as well if you want to see more content like this in the future. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.